Look closely at your life. Every weakness you carry was not born within you, it was taught to you. They trained you to apologize for things that were never your fault. They conditioned you to forgive those who shattered your trust. They praised your patience while exploiting your silence. That is not kindness, that is control. Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. The masses are kept obedient for one purpose only, to be ruled. Weakness is not natural. It is installed in you like a virus, so you can be controlled. And yet this is what terrifies them. The moment you wake up, the instant you stop apologizing, the second you say no without explanation, walk away without guilt, and act without asking for permission. This is not cruelty. This is becoming undeniable. This video is your firewall. It burns away the emotional programming, the guilt, the doubt, the fear that kept you chained. Weakness is not a flaw. Weakness is a death sentence in the game of power. In the jungle of human behavior, weakness is never pitied. It is hunted. The world does not treat you according to your intentions. It treats you according to your image. Look fragile, and you will attract predators. Look endlessly forgiving, and betrayal will find you. Appear kind without power, and people will exploit you with a smile. Machiavelli warned rulers and men alike. Do not waste your energy chasing love. Be feared or be forgotten, because weakness is not noble. It is a signal to the strong that you can be broken. We live in a culture desperate to conceal this truth. They feed you comforting lies. They tell you the good will always win in the end. That patience always pays off. That people will eventually recognize your value if you just wait long enough. That is the language of slaves. The reality is harsher. No one respects a person who tolerates disrespect. No one fears the one who forgives everything. And no one follows the hesitant. The price of weakness begins subtly. You lose respect. You are ignored. You become invisible. Then the cost rises higher. Betrayal, failure, loss of control. Weakness is not simply emotional softness. It is hesitation. It is over-explaining. It is asking when you should act. It is fearing consequences more than you desire power. And worst of all, weakness becomes habit. You convince yourself it is virtue, but in truth, it is fear disguised as morality. That is why the first step is recognition. You must name the weakness inside you without excuse, without shame, without mercy. Only then can you destroy it. People do not hold on to weakness because they love it. They cling to it because it feels familiar. Comfort seduces more than growth, and comfort always lies. From the moment you were born, you were surrounded by a sweet poison. Be nice. Wait your turn. Everything will be fine. These are lullabies for the powerless. The system is designed to keep you obedient, because the obedient are predictable. They pay their taxes, follow orders, and die quietly, never realizing their lives were controlled from the very beginning. Machiavelli understood what society refuses to say out loud. Power is never given, it must be taken. And the first step in taking it is to reject the illusions that make you weak. Consider the most dangerous lies that have been drilled into you. The lie of moral superiority. They tell you it is better to be kind, better to forgive, better to endure silently. But look around. Who wins? Not the most moral, but the most strategic. You do not rise by being good. You rise by being useful to power or by becoming power itself. Virtue without strength is invisible. Strategy without morality is unstoppable. The lie of time. Be patient, they whisper. Your moment will come. No, time is not your ally. Time is your assassin. Every second you hesitate, someone colder, hungrier, and bolder is taking what could have been yours. The world does not wait. It devours. The lie of equality. They repeat the slogan that all men are equal. Equality is a myth sold to the masses to keep them docile. In reality, some dominate and others are dominated. Your choice is brutally simple. Lead or be led. The lie of stability. People cling to weakness because they crave stability. A stable job, a safe home, predictable outcomes. But stability breeds softness. It kills ambition, destroys risk-taking, and turns lions into house cats. Power thrives in chaos. Only those who can navigate uncertainty, make brutal decisions, and adapt faster than the rest survive. The lie of guilt. Guilt is the rope society ties around your neck. They want you to feel wrong for wanting more, for cutting ties, for saying no. But guilt is nothing more than weakness in disguise. You owe the world nothing. Your only obligation is to become formidable. Weakness survives because these lies feel comforting. But comfort is the slowest form of suicide. To escape weakness, you must confront reality with ferocity. Tear off the mask, reject the stories, and accept a darker truth. No one is coming to save you. You must become the figure others fear, respect, and follow, or you remain invisible forever. You were programmed to cling to softness. Now is the time to strip away each lie and build a mind forged for war. Weakness grows in emotion. Strength is born from strategy. The cure for weakness is not motivation. It is calculation. Machiavelli never told princes to be emotional. He told them to be feared, to control perception, to use people as tools and discard them when they no longer served a purpose. He did not romanticize loyalty. He did not preach forgiveness. He believed in victory. And to achieve victory, you must replace emotion with cold logic. Break the disease piece by piece. Stop reacting, start calculating. The emotional are predictable, and what is predictable is easy to control. If you are quick to anger, they can provoke you. If you are easily offended, they can silence you. If you crave love, they can manipulate you. But when you move strategically, when your decisions are calculated instead of impulsive, you become unreadable, unbreakable. Every move must serve a purpose. Increase leverage, protect reputation, expand influence, destroy quietly. You are not here to perform emotions. You are here to build power. Detach from outcomes. The emotional obsess over results. The strategic focus on position. If a plan fails, they do not weep. They adapt. If someone leaves, they do not beg. They replace. A strategic mind is surgical. It cuts away what no longer serves, and it does not hesitate to cut deeper. You must learn to walk away from people, plans, and places with a calm face. No second chances. No emotional debates. No begging. Use emotion as a weapon, never as your compass. Your feelings are not the enemy, but they are not the captain of your ship. They are bait. Machiavellian strategy teaches, appear kind, but strike with cruelty when necessary. Seem open, but keep your mystery intact. Let others believe you care. While behind your calm mask you plan your next move. Smile to lower their guard. Use silence to build tension. Offer kindness to earn trust. Then use that trust to secure victory. Emotion should be your disguise, never your guide. Build a frozen core within. The strongest men carry fire in their ambition but ice in their hearts. This is not about cruelty. It is about clarity. The clarity to say, this person no longer serves my mission. They must go. This situation no longer works. I cut it away. Betrayal has happened. I move forward. No return. Most drown because they cannot let go. They cling to loyalty, to guilt, to old versions of themselves. But the cold mind knows attachment is weakness. Emotion is a luxury. And in the game of power, emotion betrays you faster than any enemy. You do not cure weakness by trying to feel stronger. You cure it by thinking colder. From this moment forward, every decision must pass through one filter. Does this make me stronger, or does it make me vulnerable? If it weakens you, burn it. If it softens you, silence it. If it slows you down, walk away. The remedy is not kindness, it is clarity. It is control. It is strategy elevated above emotion every time. At the core of weakness is not fear, doubt, or guilt. It is attachment. Attachment is the invisible chain that pulls you away from power. You cling to people, to identities, to comfort, to recognition. And each time you cling, you surrender control. Machiavelli understood that the man who needs nothing cannot be ruled. The world uses your attachments against you. The people you fear to lose will test you, because they know you will tolerate more than you should. You are most vulnerable the moment you cannot walk away. The instant someone senses that your value depends on their approval, they own you. Power demands distance. You must be ready to burn bridges, erase names, and walk alone without hesitation. More dangerous than attachment to people is attachment to your own image. You want to be liked, praised, understood. You want to be seen as good. But that need is weakness dressed as virtue. You adjust your voice to fit rooms you should command. You soften your presence so no one feels threatened. That is not virtue. That is surrender. Detach from the illusion of acceptance. Let them misunderstand you. Let them fear you. Let them gossip, doubt, and judge. Their comfort does not matter. Your rise does. Most remain chained to past versions of themselves, loyal to an identity built to survive, not to dominate. Reinvention terrifies the weak, but it is the strongest weapon of the powerful. You must be willing to kill the softer version of yourself, the one that endured too much, apologized too quickly, hesitated too often. Let that version rot. You must also detach from comfort, the sworn enemy of ambition. Comfort breeds stagnation. It teaches you that survival is enough. It whispers lies like relax. You have earned your rest. But comfort drains urgency. It extinguishes the fire that makes men ruthless. You must learn to operate in discomfort, to think clearly under pressure, to make cold decisions while others panic. And finally, the most dangerous attachment of all, obsession with outcomes. You want control. You want certainty. You want the world to move according to your script. But real power comes only when you are no longer afraid to lose. When you release the need for everything to go your way, you gain absolute control over yourself. And that is the only control that matters. The man who has mastered detachment cannot be threatened, cannot be manipulated, cannot be broken. He moves with clarity. He speaks with precision. He walks alone if he must, not out of hatred for others, but out of unshakable trust in himself. The truly dangerous man needs nothing, chases nothing, and fears no loss. He understands the truth. The moment you sever the strings of attachment, you reclaim the throne in your own mind. And once you rule your mind, no one else ever can. Now that you have erased softness, severed everything that once weakened you, and silenced the noise within your mind, something new begins to rise. It is not simple confidence. It is colder, untouchable. This is not about becoming better. This is about becoming dangerous. Not dangerous to others, but to everything that once controlled you. You no longer operate from emotion. You no longer hunger for recognition. You no longer hesitate when it is time to act. The old version of you would overthink, beg for validation, and doubt every step. That version is dead. What remains is sharper, precise, surgical. You have replaced guilt with clarity. You have replaced fear with calm. You have replaced attachment with silence. And in that silence, people begin to feel the change in you before they understand it. They sense the absence of need, the absence of emotional reaction. They recognize that you do not flinch anymore. You do not chase. You no longer play the safe, agreeable role they once relied on. You have become an anomaly in a world of weakness, a calm storm, a presence that carries weight without speaking. This is not arrogance. This is authority. And you earned it by doing what most people never dare to do. You killed the emotional dependency that makes men ordinary. The rise is never loud. It happens within. And because it is within, no one can take it away. Not failure, not betrayal, not isolation. You no longer care who stays or who leaves. You care only who respects your silence, who fears your distance, who studies your movements instead of imitating your words. You become unstoppable because now you do not speak to explain. You speak to direct. You do not enter conflict to prove anything. You end it before it begins. There is a cold efficiency in your presence. When you enter a room, you are different. You do not need the spotlight, because your stillness creates more gravity than their performance. You are no longer emotionally available to those who waste your time. You no longer feel responsible to fix others, to justify yourself, or to carry anyone on your back. You have trained yourself to walk alone, and that makes you untouchable, because the one who needs no one cannot be manipulated. You rise because you have learned one of Machiavelli's most ruthless truths. The strongest man is the one who removes weakness without apology. He does not beg, he does not explain, he does not justify his distance. He moves quietly, strategically, decisively. They will call it cold. Let them. The dangerous man does not care about their opinion. He cares about results, and the result he chooses is control. Control of himself, control of his emotions, and eventually control of the environment around him. This power is never granted. It is carved. It is earned with every boundary you enforce, every attachment you cut, every moment you choose silence instead of reaction. You are no longer the one who is hurt. You are the one remembered. The dangerous man is not the one who shouts, not the one who threatens. He is the one who does not need to. His calm presence creates more tension than 10 angry voices. Now you operate above emotion. You watch without reacting. You see betrayal before it arrives. You replace loyalty with usefulness. And when someone crosses a line, you do not argue. You erase. You become dangerous. Not because you wish to harm others, but because you do not need them. And that terrifies the weak. They cannot imagine surviving without validation. But you have built a mind that grows stronger without it. You no longer chase peace. You are peace. And that is why people either gravitate toward you or retreat from you. You do not adjust to their comfort. You force them to adjust to your silence. You rise not to inspire, not to prove anything, but because you refuse to remain weak, and now they can feel it. Even in a room filled with noise, your silence speaks louder. Even when you leave, your absence carries weight. This is what it means to be dangerous. Not available for the world that once drained you, but becoming the consequence that the weak tried to avoid. You do not announce your rise. You live it. And now, you never return. You were not born weak. You were made weak, shaped by expectations, softened by guilt, controlled by emotions that were never truly yours. They taught you to be agreeable, polite, forgiving. They conditioned you to react, to explain, to hesitate. And every time you complied, a piece of your strength was stolen. But that version of you is gone. You burned it. You cut away the noise, discarded the hunger to be liked, and reclaimed your sharpness. The weakness that once made you easy to manipulate has been replaced with silence. The hesitation that slowed you has been replaced with speed. The emotional dependency that bound you to others is now dust beneath your feet. You have become something else, someone else. Not cold because of cruelty, but cold because of clarity. You no longer move to please. You move to dominate. You no longer speak to be heard. You speak to be obeyed. You have stripped away every weakness they once celebrated. You have built a mind that does not break under pressure. You have become a presence that does not beg, does not chase, does not explain. You do not react. You disappear. And when you return, everything is different, because you made it different. You become the danger they sense but cannot predict. The calm before something irreversible. The figure who forces others to guess, to regret, to reconsider. Now, power feels natural. Not forced, not performed, but earned. Not because you shout louder, but because you no longer need to. Not because you fight harder, but because you deny them the fight they expected. You have cut off their access. You have made yourself unreachable, and that makes you unforgettable. This is not about being feared for fear's sake. This is about becoming so complete within yourself that no one can shake you, exploit you, or break you. You are no longer breakable. You are no longer available to a world that thrived on your hesitation. You are now your own weapon. Calm, cold, calculated. If you feel this shift, if something inside you has already begun to transform, then like this video. And if you are ready to go further, to become more dangerous, untouchable, and unshakable, then subscribe. What comes next is not for everyone. But you are no longer everyone. You are something else. You are the result.